everyone, and welcome to Authors Excerpt Sunday. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Ka Dee Allen, and she is a marvelous woman of God. She is hailing from Yonkers, New York. She calls Flint, Michigan home, and alongside her role as a devoted wife and nurturing mother of two young men, Miss Katie earned a master's degree in social work from Michigan State University. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And in her profession as a dedicated medical social worker, she brings compassion and understanding to her patients, embodying her commitment to making a positive impact on the world. She's writing under the pseudonym of Ka Dee Allen. She pays homage to her late mother, Ka Dee Allen Moss, who remains a constant source of inspiration in her life. The pseudonym serves as a tribute to women who have shaped her into the marvelous, wonderful woman of God she is today. On Katie's journey into writing, begin with her cousin. And I'll let her tell the rest of her story. Hello, Miss Ka Dee Allen. How are you doing today, darling?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'll give you a little backstory about how we met. We met at an event called Behind the Ink. The founder is Kay Rashay, and it was it Birmingham,
Yeah.
Alabama? Right. Yeah, yeah. We met at this nice event, Uh, and um, I met her, and she gave me this aura that was I need to have her on my show. I need to have her on my show. So, I went introduced myself, and here we are. Here we are. Here we are. So, Miss Katie, can you tell us about your journey as a writer and what inspired you to start writing?
My journey as a writer started with my cousin, Allor Henrique. She came up with the idea Second Chance at Love series.
Mm-hmm.
And she was writing about friends and cousins in this series that grew up in Yonkers, New York, from where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I want in on that because I've always been an avid reader. I've been reading since I was a teenager, riding the bus in Yonkers, New York, and that would like do the time of on the bus. And I started out reading Donald Goines, and I just been hooked ever since. So I'm either reading or writing or listening to a book. So Denise's Dilemma came out of that book, out of that journey. She had a second chance at love. So Deneen was one of the cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So I started writing Denise's Dilemma in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was working for the government, and I was working in a as a secretary, and I was working with an attorney. So that's how Deneen became an attorney, because I was, working with them and I was getting information from them.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it would be a good thing for Deneen to be an attorney. So that's how she became an attorney.
All right, all right. So, what was the inspiration behind Denise's dilemma?
Um, I say Deneen's Dilemma has a little bit of my life into it.
Mm-hmm.
So like writing it, I got a little inspiration on what was going on in my life, and it just started flowing. I
Mm-hmm.
can't really say it was something particular.
Mm-hmm.
Again, my cousin, she told me about the second chance at love and kind of gave me an idea with the cousins and stuff, and it came from there. And it just once I got an idea of what I wanted to do, it just started flowing out, and I just started writing it.
I know that's right. That's how it works. It's like it starts with one thought, then it starts with
Hmm.
another thought, and be like, well, what if I put this thought with that thought, and then add this, and that's how it flows. When it comes to being an author, it just you get this. It strikes you with one idea, and then it
Hmm.
blossoms into this whole plethora of ideas, and you write each one of them down for the particular book, and then for you have a whole manuscript,
Hmm.
and that's the wonderful thing about uh the creativity that God gives us. He
Hmm.
starts us
Yeah.
off with one idea, and then he gives us more ideas to add to that one idea, and it culminates into this beautiful picture, this beautiful vision,
Yeah.
as per se. Can you share a brief summary of Denise's dilemma?
Deneen is a wife and a mother, and she's also a DA. She works for the DA's office, so she's an attorney for the district attorney's office.
Hmm.
And life was going well, at least she thought was going well
Yes.
with her work life as well as her family life. And then one particular day, something happened that changed her life, and she had to start over again
Hmm.
and navigate through with her daughter and navigate through the system with her daughter and try to rediscover herself during that time. So with Deneen, I always think of it as a discovery of yourself, because parts of it in the book, I always say, parts of the book, I say, like, she looked in the mirror and for the first time, she really saw herself,
Hmm.
and like she didn't really see herself before. And that happens in a lot of situations. Like, we wear these masks
Hmm.
and we just go through life, and like, who is really the real us? So
Hmm.
like with Deneen, she discovered who she really was during this time.
Okay. Us as women, we go through a lot of stuff in our life.
Hmm.
And when it all starts from, I'll say, a childhood experience, or it starts from, uh, we had this vivid imagination as young girls growing up, or how we gonna be in relationships and things like that
Hmm.
and stuff. And then when we get into relationships, we realize, that's not happening the way I want it to happen.
Hmm.
And sometimes, and a lot of times, it's a wake up call. Be like, okay, so this what it's really about. And sometimes we have to come to the rationalization of we got to take our heads out the sand.
Yep.
Take our heads out the sand. This is not Alice in Wonderland. So, so what was the most challenging aspect of writing Denise's dilemma?
The writing part was not the challenging part. The editing was the challenging part, because I was newly writer, and by me going to get my master's degree, I have to
Mhm.
write a certain way. My papers had to be written a certain way, and
Yes.
then trying to write like I wouldn't say it's just like a romantic type of situation. The
Mhm.
writing had to be a little different.
Mhm.
So to find an editor that would see my vision and kind of help me through, because again, Deneen was my first book. She
Mhm.
was not my first book that was published, but she was my first book that was written.
Mhm.
So I wrote it out, and I'm a freehand type of writer. I just write,
Mhm.
and then I go back and I add my chapters and whatever. So Deneen was just written
Mhm.
freestyle. So I had to kind of get some type of structure to it, and
Yes.
trying to find an editor that can help me structure
Mhm.
Deneen the way I needed her to be structured was the challenging part.
Oh, okay. All right. Um, is it possible we could have you read an excerpt out of your book?
Yeah. After the whole scene with William, I thought about my life. I love my job as an assistant district attorney for the District of Columbia. I'm respected by my colleagues. My daughter Jasmine is the love of my life. But to be honest, there always been one thing missing in my life: true romantic love. I married William Moore 17 years ago, shortly after I started working at the DA's office. When William and I began dating, we discussed differences in our careers. He worked for the District of Columbia as a building code inspector. I was never the type to judge a person by what they did for a living, as my father retired as a window washer and my mother retired as a restaurant cook. That's why I had no problem with what William did for a living. In the beginning, the differences in our salaries didn't matter, but the more my salary increased, the worse our relationship became. Excuse me. I tried to love William, but after year 10 of our marriage, I discovered he was my best friend, but I was not his. At times, I felt like he didn't even like me. The harder I tried, the worse it got. So I stopped trying so hard and focused on existing in the relationship for Jasmine's sake. I yearned for romantic love, the kind that I read about in romance novels. Oh well, now William is divorcing me, citing irreconcilable differences. That's one thing he's gotten right in this relationship.
Oh, okay, okay. That sounds really interesting. All right now. All right. Oh, look like I'm gonna have to get this one. I get this one. I get this. I get this one. So how long have you been an author? How long have you been an author, Miss Katie?
Um, since I started writing Deneen in 2014, but I
Mm-hmm.
published my first book, which was not Deneen,
Mm-hmm.
in 2020.
Okay.
So I became a published author in 2020.
Okay. Okay. And how do you like being an author so far?
It is. I love the creativity of being an author, but the business aspect is a little challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Because I work full time and I work at night, I find it difficult to actually market my product.
Okay.
So now I'm looking to find, like, I was like, I think I'm just going to have to try to, find a marketer
Mm-hmm.
to help me deal with marketing my book, because, it's out there and I
Mm-hmm.
did a little marketing, but I want more people to see Deneen and my other books. And without me marketing it, it's just, sitting there and it's not being seen. So
Mm-hmm.
I am in the process of trying to find a marketer, which is kind of difficult because so many people say they can do stuff for you, but doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily
Child,
mean they're going to do it.
you ain't never
So
lying.
I'm just, yeah, it's just, I got all these people in my inbox now, like, they could do this, they could do this. I'm like, okay, just hold on. Let me just
Yeah,
think about
just
this.
wait a
Just
minute.
hold
Like, wait
on.
a minute, right? Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. So I decided, I want someone, because I had someone that built my website, but I need someone to really kind of work it out. And so I need my website worked on and marketing my books. But it's like when you have so many people coming after you, it can be overwhelming. And I'm the type of person, I like to really think about things and I like to really
Yeah,
research.
yeah. Assess the
And
situation.
yeah, and so it's just right now it's just too much. So I'm like pulling back, like, okay, wait a minute, just give me a chance to
Hmm.
figure out, who I'm gonna choose to do this task for me.
Yes, yes. So, how do you approach the writing? How do you approach your writing process? And do you have a specific routine or ritual?
I'm kind of old school. When I was in college, I wrote all my papers by hand,
Mm-hmm.
and then I typed it, and
Mm-hmm.
then I edit it, and it was just a whole process. So my teachers, some of my professors was laughing at me. They was like, you just, you have a whole thing going on and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But
Yeah.
it felt natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I freelance with my books as well. So some of my books I started out writing in like a notebook, and then I
Mm-hmm.
typed them out.
Yeah.
So I always say I freelance my writing. I just write, and then once I feel like the book is done, I go
Mm-hmm.
over and start structuring the book, and get my chapters and
Mm-hmm.
who is going to be. And like my first book that I wrote in third person, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel more comfortable writing in first person now. So I kind of flip flop between third and first, because again, when I was in school, we
Yes.
had to write in third person. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I like first person, but I
Yeah.
tend to have to go back and remember that I'm
Yeah.
writing my books in first person, because I tend to, you know, rely back on third person.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
What do you hope the readers will take away from Denise's dilemma?
That there's a second chance at love. No matter what you life hits you with, no
Yeah.
matter what, you have to feel like, and even if it's not romantic love or with a partner,
Mm-hmm.
but to love yourself. So the second chance at love could be with a partner, or it
Yeah.
could be a second chance to love yourself.
Yeah.
Look at yourself and say, you know what, I like her. I
Mm-hmm.
like this person that I see in the mirror.
Yes.
And I want to get to know her, because we grind out in our daily lives, and we're
Mm-hmm.
there for everyone. A lot of times we're there for everyone but ourselves.
Yeah.
So I want Deneen, even though her relationship, her second chance at love was with a partner,
Mm-hmm.
but in the book, it also shows that she was discovering herself as well.
All right. So, how do you handle writer's block or periods of stagnation?
Oh, man, that is a hard one, because I have so many unpublished books. I have like I think I have about six unpublished books that I need to do an edit on, or I need to go back to. But what I do is I like to listen to music. I love music.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm old school music, so I love like the 90s and 2000s and some
Mm-hmm.
80s music,
Yeah.
and I love all music. I'll just say
Mm-hmm.
I love R&B.
Yes.
And so sometimes I can be in the car, and an idea will come to me just
Mm-hmm.
hearing the song. An idea
Yeah.
come to me and be like, oh, this will be a good scene for so and so. And my
Mm-hmm.
cousin was telling me at one time, she was like, you should like tape, record yourself. So I got a couple of them where I did record myself,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I was doing like my internship and I was always on the go, whatever. And I recorded a couple of scenes for other books that are not out yet. But
Mm-hmm.
it just, to answer your question, music helps me with my writer's block.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hmm.
So, what would you tell an aspiring author who is writing their book for the first time?
Just write it. Write it. Don't worry about the structure. Don't worry about what you think others is gonna think about it.
Mhm.
Just do it, because you're never going to feel like you can accomplish it unless you do it. So
Mhm.
just start writing.
Yeah.
And like I did with Deneen, I just started writing. When those first couple of drafts, they were messy, they weren't
Mhm.
structured,
Mhm.
but had the idea and I knew what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And once you write it down, you find you someone you can trust that can be an editor that can help you, especially if you're a new writer, help you with structuring your book and give you an
Mhm.
idea what to do. But I would say don't let them take it over, because a lot of times their editors they'll try to take over your books. Your idea
Mhm.
is your idea, and you have to
Yeah.
stand on that,
Yeah.
because sometimes they'll be like, well, you should do so and so.
Mhm.
Stand on, even if you're a new author,
Mhm.
stand on what you felt, you wanted this book and how you wanted this book to go. So that would be a good piece of advice, I would say, because sometimes, depending on the editor, they will try to talk to you into changing your book to the way they feel like they want it to go.
Mm-hmm.
You just want them to help you structure it and catch any mistakes that you want, but you don't want them to change your original idea.
Oh, well, I know that's right. Cause
Mhm.
they would take over, child. If you let them,
Oh yeah,
they be
they
running
will
amok with
definitely.
you.
I had one told me, well, you have to pick and choose on how you say the person's name in the book. I'm like, my readers is gonna know nicknames. They're not dumb. Like they were like, okay, William. I can't call him Will. If you call him Will, then you can't call him William. I'm like, they're gonna know William is Will. Like it was silly.
Yes.
Like arguing with this person about something. I was like, I'm keeping it. I'm not changing it. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to stand on stuff like that because your readers, you can't think of your readers that they're not going to understand nicknames. That's how we talk in life. Like we
Well,
talk in
yeah,
nicknames. You know,
you
people call
know.
me by a nickname. So, it stuff is silly stuff, but you have to stand on your word.
Mm-hmm. And what other advice would you give aspiring authors?
I just you have to love what you're doing. You have to I
Mm-hmm.
just I love it, and I think I love it because I'm a reader and I read all genres.
Yeah.
So I just don't read romance novels. I read
Mm-hmm.
mystery. I read some sci-fis, but I'm not that crazy about sci-fi, but
Mm-hmm.
some
Yeah.
sci-fis I read.
Mm-hmm.
And I read African American authors. I mean Caucasian authors. I read it all because it'll actually help you too to see the different structures
Yeah.
on books. And I just like to read and I just like to listen. And
Yeah.
now writing, is therapeutic to me. Like when I went back to school later on in life, I
Mm-hmm.
changed careers and I went back to school.
Mm-hmm.
And when I felt like, work was or school work was just overwhelming me, I would
Yeah.
get back and I would just write. And my cousin would say, "Well, girl, how could you do that? And how could you write?" And I'm like, because it's therapeutic to me. Like
Yes.
it helped me kind of escape what I was actually doing or escape my circumstance at that time. So
Oh.
just do something that you love and
Mm-hmm.
don't worry about what other people's gonna say because in the beginning it's a hard hustle because it's a
Yeah.
lot of us out there. So, it's a lot of us out there. So you just have to be patient
Yeah.
and just keep striving.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Mhm.
Oh, oh my goodness. So, where can we find your book?
Amazon.com and Kindle. If you are a Kindle Unlimited subscriber,
Yes.
you get to read all my books for free because it's on Kindle Unlimited,
Okay.
or you can purchase them on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I have not just Denise's Dilemma. My first book is In a Christmas Mood. That was my very first book. It's a short
Mm-hmm.
story.
Mm-hmm.
My second book is Get Your Freak On,
Okay.
and
Oh.
it's about a club.
Mm-hmm.
Club Get Your Freak On. That's my second book. I
Mm-hmm.
published that book in 2021.
Okay.
And then Denise's Dilemma was published in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm about to publish my
Oh.
journal. I'm
Okay.
trying to
All
get in
right.
there.
All right.
And
I
the
know that's
journal
right.
is Love Yourself.
Hey,
So
how you
love
doing? I
yourself.
know that's
And it's
right.
a
I know that's
journal
right.
to give you
Mm-hmm.
different things and talk about loving yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's going to be my journal. And my next book, I'm going to try to have it out by July of this year, is
Okay.
Stellar Rapture. And
Oh.
Deneen is going to be in that book as well. So
Okay.
next couple of books, Deneen is still in the books. She's still in
Uh-huh.
the book. It's like a
Uh-huh.
series on,
Yeah.
even though she's with Second Chance at Love, her books start coming out with different people that you see in her book. So my other books is kind of, and then they morph into other
Oh,
things. But she
okay.
does have a big presence
Mm-hmm.
in Stella's Raptures.
Oh, okay. All right. As you can see at the screen, I have posted Mrs. Ka Dee Allen's website. It is www.kadeeallen.com. And I also have her, I also, we have her Facebook and her social media sites that are posted on the ticker table at the bottom of the screen. Have Facebook listed, the Instagram is listed, and TikTok. Okay, so you cannot say you can't find people. Okay, you can't say you can't find nobody, right?
Hmm.
And that's the thing that us as authors, I always have authors implement when I do a little coaching on the side, and I always
Hmm.
tell them, get your social media presence platforms together
Hmm.
and make sure they're unified and they have the same name for each for each the same username handle name for each social media platform you're gonna use, because then you don't confuse people.
Yeah.
And so and the ticker at in the ticker taper at the bottom of the screen is also her Amazon author page link. It is www.amazon.com/author/Ka Dee Allen. I wanted to say thank you, Miss Allen, for coming in today. And I wish you much success with your writing, your author career. And when you finish that next book, you let me know. Let me know. You can come on back on up here. Come on back on
I
up
will
here.
definitely let you
And
know.
if you feel free that you want to I gotta say this, you can come and advertise on my page. You can
Oh,
advertise,
thank
and
you.
because I have a coach, and her name is Audrey Richmond, and she says advertise, advertise, advertise.
Hmm.
Sometimes you just may want to do posts like early in the morning on Facebook, or switch it up the next morning. You might do a TikTok, or you might do next day you do your the other or the other apps that you're on, Instagram. Take each day and set it up where you advertise each day on each app. I mean, each app individually, like Monday Facebook, Tuesday Instagram, Thursday you might do TikTok, and then always tell people, look, I'm an author. Because if you don't tell nobody, nobody gonna know.
Yep.
So I greatly appreciate you. I greatly appreciate
Thank
you,
you
and
for
and
again for
you.
inviting me. It
You're
was a
welcome.
pleasure and it was nice to meet you when we were in Birmingham. That was one of the nicest events that I actually done. I mean,
Hmm.
they were so good to us there and I will definitely do it again. And just to even my motto is, even if I don't sell a whole bunch of books,
Yeah,
just the contacts or meeting
yeah.
people is of a prize. So me meeting you and being on your show was well worth me traveling to Birmingham, Alabama
Yeah.
to do that show. So I loved it.
All right, all right. I greatly appreciate you. I wanted to say thank you so much,
Hmm.
and I want you to have a blessed evening. And let me know
You
if you
too.
need me. Let me know. I'm here. I'm here because I believe in helping others and bring exposure to what they do. That's my
Yeah.
that's my love. God's placed that in my heart to help others, to help them level up. Level
And
up.
that's a blessing.
We
You
all.
bless others, you get blessed. So that's
Amen.
a blessing.
Amen.
Hmm.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right. It has
Hmm.
been an honor and a privilege, and I want you to have a blessed evening. Okay.
Okay.
All
Hmm.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right, everyone. That has been our special guest for the evening, and her name is Ka Dee Allen. And I want to say thank you to Miss Ka Dee Allen for being our guest for the evening. And I want to say to you as an author, if you would like to be an Author's Excerpt Sunday, please, please, please don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to come on Author's Excerpt Sunday, and I will gladly be. I will be so happy for you to be a guest on my show. I wanted to let you know that you are also loved and honored and cherished. I wanted to say you can reach out to me at snjm at ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com. SNJM at ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com. And I also want to let you know you can go to the website and also sign up to be a guest on Author's Excerpt Sunday. We here at Author's Excerpt Sunday have three offers for you. It is the live version, it is a podcast, and we do an episode on Clubhouse, right? So we want to have you on one of our shows that gives you exposure to a different plethora of an audience. And it is very important that we do interviews and exposures for our books to get them out in front of the audience that we desire. So come on down, come on in and sit down to the table at Arthur's Excerpt Sunday. All right, talk to you later. And I love you. And y'all have a blessed evening.